consistency right at the very end there. And Liquid started off that run with a 1-0 win over Fnatic, then beat TNC, the SEA Slayers, as it were, then knocked out a Chinese team as well, as if that wasn't nice to do in China. And then the big ones, EG and Secret, both 2-0. It's been an absolutely incredible run from Team Liquid. It also means, gents, as well, we've talked about this a lot. We talked about it last year. I think, in fact, we started talking about this at TI9, I'm pretty sure. No one's won 2 of these damn things. Like, come on now, it's got to stop this thing. I know Jake and several of the other guys talked to me, no, I want PSG to win because then it goes to TI10 and that's kind of cool. And then there's the whole, yeah, but Kuro would be the first captain to win it twice and that would be awesome. And then it's like, would be the first repeat team. So there's just so many, like Casey said in the, in the piece, there's something for everyone in every team. It almost doesn't matter who wins this year. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, for sure.
For us, anyway.
I mean, even just the thought of having getting a rematch of last year's grand final. That's insane in itself.
Yeah.
Getting a new winner, getting a repeat winner, whatever it is. You know, LGD playing in front of their home crowd in the grand finals. That would be the most insane experience as well.
I'm going to give you something, and you can tell me whether you disagree with this. One of my favourite players is Zephy. He's a support player. He's a god. He was one of the guys that kind of enthused me early on about Dota2. To see him lose another final is something I can't even bear. Like, he's lost 2 grand finals already. I can't bear to see him lose 3. So I either want him to lose first or get to the grand final and win.
You know, he can't bear it either.
No.
When he was asked about this, he said that, you know, how are you going to do it, TI and everything? He said, you know, it's all good, just not second.
No.
Just don't give me second.
No.
Ken. He doesn't want to be so close to the Aegis and fall just a little short again.
3 times. 3 times.
That would just be terrible.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully he's able to make it all the way through. I know the crowd is going to be backing him hardcore, and I personally, I do kind of want to see how nuts the crowd would go if LGD wins in Shanghai.
I think
that would be an incredible atmosphere by itself.
We might be deafened, that's for sure. The team that we haven't spoken about, because obviously they're not playing in this first game, is OG. They're just waiting backstage, they're chilling, they're waiting for see who they play. If they play PSG, they've got it in their heads they can beat them. They've done it before, they did it last year. If it's Liquid, though, does that make it harder for OG?
I feel it does a little bit. They've kind of had their number. Like Liquid, I mean, we talked about Liquid, EG and Secret had their number, but they overcame it. Meanwhile, OG and Liquid's kind of at OG's number, and I feel like going into this, Kuroki won't let that. Like, he's like, I'm not going to get reversed on by that. And I think you are a little bit more afraid of Liquid at this point, because you've seen they're just a freight train cruising on through that lower bracket.
Simultaneously, there's a lot of respect between those 2 squads. Obviously, there are a lot of friendship between them. I think one of the more interesting, everybody talks about Kuro and Puppy, but I think Kuro and No-Tail is a really interesting story between the 2, and both of them having to overcome, you know, certain adversities and be able to put together these young squads and truly lead these teams to be able to go through the international. And it really goes to show how important the captains are to Dota 2. If you ever want to talk about the greatest players of all time, I think this TI really cements it.
It does.
You can't have that conversation without the captains. The captains are pretty much everything in Dota 2.
4 of the 5 original Team Secret, Grant, are all TI winners and all captains.
Yep.
Something about that team, wasn't it?
It really is. Like, I mean, they were here from the beginning, and they just slowly grew up through Dota together. And you decide, like, wait, I want to do it myself, my legacy. Yeah. Maybe I don't want it paired with someone else. I want to have it myself.
Yeah, I mean, I think Puppy alluded to that a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
Actually, outright said Kuro wanted to take over, but he also mentioned that several players have wanted to take over at various points of his career, and that's why it's not worked out for him. He needs to have that single-mindedness and that control over his team.
It's hard to like run and play as a Dota team when you have too many ideas flying around. You have 2 or 3 different people who are all co-captains and have a different direction or a different idea of what style of play you want. You really need one vision.
Yeah. Do you think that's partially? Sorry, do you think that's partially the problem with EG right now? Because they've got a lot of strength in there. They always have, haven't they? They've always built around 2 or 3 kind of captains in the team. And they had Fear, and they had Peter there, and Crit obviously was then drafting. They've got Fly now as well. S4's experience. There's a lot of heads in there, which can be good.
Yeah.
But could also be damaging.
Very high Dota IQ on that team, and I would say that maybe it's a little too early to talk about it, but post-TI, when you see these teams break up, and especially when they fraction in half, right? What happens is that there is 2 different ideas about the way the game should be played. Right. There's 2 different loud voices about what's going on, and those voices just can't really meet together anymore. And that's what happens at TI, which it is such a pressure cooker that those relationships get, torn apart. And at the end of the day, two people are going to go their separate ways, and they're going to pull some of their teammates with them and try and forge a new path and a new idea, a unified vision about Dota. And that's what's really interesting for me is every year that it is the journey that you get a bunch of guys, you try and create a unified vision, and you finally get to TI and you say, we've got it. This is how we want to play. And then you put it through like the ultimate gauntlet.
Yeah.
That idea
test.
and that friendship between you, and you see whether or not that survives.
Yeah.
And Evil Geniuses, because they were a new team, it survived last year and being able to get third place. But this year, I have my doubts just because
There might be some
I have
changes.
my doubts about honestly almost every single team who's out of the tournament already.
One of those teams are going to be is Vici.